Why do you allow self-doubt to dwindle within yourself? The amount of effort that you put forth into something just to constantly restart, to never make any progress, to never allow yourself to make that progress. You're constantly nitpicking over something that you could have done better, over something that isn't perfect, which isn't bound to be perfect, you know? We're never proficient at something that we start. You have to build that foundation. You have to have a foundation in order to make it work. Eventually, you'll gain those skills and you'll understand what it takes to do this one thing. It's a very broad topic. However, I want to narrow it down to the person that you are. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what person am I today? Am I that person that I was yesterday, who was overran by anxious thoughts, who allowed myself to be so far out of myself that I acted out in worry? You shouldn't worry about anything that you cannot control. You can control the emotions that take you to this place of worry. You're diminishing yourself. You're diminishing your light, the type of person that you are, because you allow these anxious thoughts to take you outside of yourself. Listen to that, because once you're in a logical state, when you're stable, you'll reflect back to that moment and you'll have a lot of regrets because you acted out in fear. You acted out in this anxious manner. Anxiety is definitely something that is not easy to overcome. No. But once you recognize the signs, once you recognize what takes you to that place, your triggers, quote unquote, because you can minimize that feeling. You have to be able to allow yourself to truly feel these emotions and to understand them in order to catch them in the moment. I've struggled with this. I used to have anxiety attacks. I used to be so far out of myself to where in 15-minute increments, I would just be out of it, shaking, hard to breathe. These things aren't easy to overcome, but they're not impossible. It is possible to change your mental programming, to change your thought process in order to become a better person. You're allowing your light to be diminished because of actions of other people as well. When you're constantly feeding into something because you're in fear of it being taken away from you, that is something you can't control. This is a whole nother being outside of yourself, right? And that being has every right to do whatever they want to do. You have to have enough trust instilled within yourself to know that this being is also rocking with you. This being is also somebody that is able to effectively communicate and to understand when they're in the wrong. And when they do not realize that, it is up to you to come from a place not of anxious, worried, and anxiety by telling them, hey, you're not doing this, this, and that. Have a conversation. Understand your emotions behind this and think about it. Put it into words to where you can understand how to produce this feeling to this person. Because if you don't know how to deal with these emotions, that person may also not know how to deal with these emotions. And there you go with two people that don't understand this one emotion that you're feeling. Figure it out. Allow it to fester. Think about it. Don't act out of anxiety because you're worried about it being not for you. But if you act out in anxiousness constantly, it becomes to a point where it may be overbearing, not only for that person, but for yourself. You're constantly diminishing your health as well. Constantly worrying about something that you cannot control can cause you to go into a panic state. Like I've mentioned before, that panic attack, that anxiety attack is crazy. But when you get to these states that take you outside of yourself, you shrink yourself. You're in this dark place and you don't understand the route to get out. That route is clear if you take the time to just process these emotions. They are valid emotions, but when you add logic into these emotions, you don't allow them to control you anymore. You allow yourself to feel this emotion and you understand this emotion because you have the logic behind it. Don't allow yourself to be taken out due to your own self. You are actually your biggest enemy. You're constantly with yourself 24/7. There's no one else that is with you more than that. Besides God himself, he's always with you. But we're talking about ourselves. And when you have that worry, actually, you can take it to God. You bring this anxiety, you bring this worry, give it to him. Take it off your shoulders. It is not your job to worry about something that you can't control. Don't diminish yourself. Don't diminish your light. You can do it. You can get through any emotional turmoil as long as you put your mind to it, which comes from logic and understanding of yourself.